Hey guys, so here bringing you another video and welcome to another episode of Challenge or Spectate. We don't again do these all the time, but I wanted to because what you saw earlier was episode kind of 1 of me going back into top lane, and just little spoiler, you're going to get a bunch of top lane games in a row. So weirdly, obviously I've mained different roles over the years, and when my channel was at its basically peak, I was actually a top lane main historically. So let me know in the comment section below, what role do you associate me with the most? It'd be interesting to know, like, is it mainly top? Is it mainly mid? Jungle? I don't know. But the reason we're watching AATROX specifically, and this player is a top 10 challenger AATROX in the US, is he's such a powerful pick of top lane. I think a big part of why he's so powerful, obviously without the, the damage, the healing, etc. Nowadays, there's 2 very strong items, Eclipse and Profane Hydra. And most of the time, Aatroxes are building both of those items. There's a few champions that can build both, and it works really well with them. Aatrox is one, Kled's another. And if you can make use of really strong items and it works with your champion, it's naturally going to give you some strength. Now, what's interesting to me is level 1, Aurelia early game with her passive. You'd think Aurelia would be kind of up here trying to get a passive proc and then look for a fight with autos, because you can't really beat that. She's respected him, and this is the thing that I've always touched upon when it comes to challenges and all this type of thing, is I don't know the details on this Aurelia, but this Aatrox is a top 10 challenger player. They all know each other. This Aurelia will know who this Aatrox is, and she hits level 2 really nicely, and boom, that's what you expect of an Aurelia, by the way. But you have to remember, because they all know each other, they've played against each other numerous times, they respect each other more a lot of the time, and they know, like, oh, this player is really good. And that can actually alter how they play. So, eventually the Aurelia uses her early game advantage. But it was surprising even to me that she let the Aatrox kind of walk in the middle of the lane. Because, yeah, Aurelia is so much stronger. So Aatrox, obviously, uses Flash to survive the level 1 fight. Is now going to have it under tower, going to get as much farm as he possibly can. If he gets all of it, he'll actually be ahead on farm. Aurelia's going to use this time to go for a buy. She also uses TP. So this is where, like, I need to learn, especially if I'm playing a bit more top lane again. Like, there, I might have not used TP. Because, like, it's under the tower. How much are you going to gain from being in lane phase? But I think what the premise is if you miss XP at this early stage, you actually can then get behind a level. You could get behind half a level, and that actually is quite disastrous for the rest of your lane. So you can see Aatrox is level 4. He knows Aurelia's in there. She didn't realize he warded it, and he'll go for a little bit of a trade, nothing major. And this is another aspect of challenger play that is bizarre. Look at the mini-map. There's a Rakan coming top lane. Obviously, we all kind of moan about support roams in modern day League, so Aurelia's getting 3-manned. They might even go for the all-in with Flash, yeah, because Aurelia committed Flash really early. And it gives Aatrox a free kill. We all moan about supports roam too much early. The place it happens the most, more than any rating, is Challenger. The higher rating, the more it happens. The reason why is a lot of the time a support won't roam if there isn't trust with their AD. Well, there's 2 reasons. Either they don't trust their AD carry, so I actually have to stay here, or you suck, I'm roaming. Where in Challenger, the odds are your AD carry is really good. So, hey, I'm going to go roam. I respect you. You're going to play safe. You won't get killed 2v1. Cool. You can see the Camille support, which apparently is still a thing. She's roaming too. They both are doing it. And it's basically this. It probably happens nearly every game in Challenger. Both supports leave. It's really weird. I don't like it. I just think it's a bit. I just think it's a bit odd. Like, it's not playing to what you are. But again, what I expect of a support is you're a bot lane support. But what the new kind of fangled way of thinking about it is you're a support of the map. And I think that's what people are trying to move support into a bit. So yeah, obviously Tristana and Camille is going to be a very scary lane phase duo. Both very all-in, both very fight intense. Aurelia's got a passive up. You can see that obviously with her bars below her health. So now would be a terrible time for Aatrox to fight. You can see he actually rushed tier 2 boots. So there's 2 reasons why I'd expect him to go tier 2 boots. One is the just movement speed based on it, so and auto attack based on it. is Aatrox wants probably the movement to dodge, especially Aurelia stun, her E. And movement speed is definitely good for that. But then the other aspect, and it's kind of an aspect that I've seen Faker actually do, is sometimes I've seen Faker buy boots early. Look at that dodging, and that's all movement speed, baby. He buys boots early, so he literally has the movement speed to get back into lane to miss less minions. And it's quite effective, obviously. Alright, so Vi coming back top lane. Aatrox early ults. So does Aurelia. With the bing boom. Very nice. So Aatrox played that very well. Perfectly did the combo to get her CC'd enough that she was going to get tethered back in. He probably would like the kill, but still pretty good situation all around because it gives pressure on these. Enemy team might be doing grubs, potentially. Or not, maybe not. Yeah, I think that was a 3-man mid lane, by the way. That was Camille never being bot lane, obviously. Lee Sin and Nico killing the mid laner in a 3v1. So Aatrox is going to push that in, very nice, and then going to go over and just double, help secure it all. Why not? Lee Sin's bot lane, Jinx very low, does have heal, and will maybe not survive because Camille's damage is too high. Again, I know I've already asked you guys a question about what role you see me as, but if you want to answer another question, and again, it's maybe a weird opinion of mine, but like these kind of weird supports, obviously I play Shaco. I don't know why, and again, it's really hard for me to pinpoint why. I'm weirdly okay with people playing Shaco support. I'm weirdly okay with people playing Poppy support. There's something about Camille's support that I really don't like. And I think ultimately it's because a champ like Shaco has some strength, but he's not like an absolute monster. Well, Camille is a pretty damn strong champion, I played against a Camille earlier today in top lane. She was really strong. Doesn't feel weak at all. Okay, so the reason why, that was actually really well played by Aatrox. So why did he go for that flash play? So what Aurelia was looking to do there, just to explain, she went really far down in hopes to bait the Aatrox to then Q back to a minion, and then she might have been safe. So Aatrox uses the flash, so she doesn't have the time to use Q. She didn't actually have her flash up yet as well. And you can see in the chat, the Aurelia pinged the Rakan and Vi. Yeah, because those two is what ruined the lane for her. The fact that she got early ganked by a level 2 Rakan is crazy. But again, as weird as it sounds, you shouldn't expect it in a historical way of League of Legends. But in modern League of Legends, I guess you should. As weird as it sounds, but yeah. We just heard Nico ult for some reason globally. It's not a global spell, so I don't know why we're hearing it globally. Again, one thing that you'll always have to get used to with Challenger Spectates is the amount of pings. They ping more than anywhere else. Because communication, again, nobody uses chat anymore. Like, even Challenger players don't use chat. So, pinging is communication. It's giving information. And it obviously frustrates the hell out of me, where one of my strengths, I'd say, as a player is awareness. So, I ping a lot. I let people know there's someone coming here, that you're getting ganked here. One of my pet peeves of League of Legends is people ignoring that. I'm giving you good information. You are not respecting it enough to go, oh, why is my mid laner pinging? It really frustrates me. So Lee Sin just showed bot lane. So this should give Aatrox a bit of a, nice, again, E-dodged for the stun. You see the Aurelia, even though she's 0-3, she is not wanting to back down. So again, Aatrox is going to avoid the sides, by the way. And right now, just the pure strength difference between... Oh, really? Flash? And you can see here, he's just not bothered. So again, he knows it's inevitable. Vi's on the way. Why would I risk it? There's no point risking death here. And Aatrox respects that. Vi's on the way. I'm not going to risk it. That's being a smart player. So she was trying to get to that blue minion, and Aatrox gets another kill. So I would say the Aurelia is playing arguably, and this is the weird thing, arguably too aggressive, but it's an Aurelia. I know historically she used to be, again, she's had some weird phases over the years. At one point, Aurelia was like a really late game champion. Then she was an early game only champion. She still is lane centric to say, but she's not only lane now. They did give her some scaling, so she's like mid game is what I would say. Mid game is good after you get like Blade the Ruin King. It's a huge spat power spike for her. She still has lane prowess that you have to respect with her passive, but she's not there was a time a couple years ago that if Aurelia was in lane, it was an automatic win. You could be terrible as Aurelia and you just naturally won the lane anyway because it was so powerful. She's not that strong anymore in lane. They took away some of that natural lane power to give her more scaling. So AATROX probably sitting on a pretty penny. Unfortunately, the replays are still bugged, so we cannot actually look at the gold. Normally you can press X and it swaps the items here on the scoreboard. It swaps it to the gold view. Doesn't work. Again, one of my biggest complaints of Riot, among a few. Yeah, they don't care much about the replay system. And I kind of get why. The replay system doesn't really make them money. Not many, the vast majority of players have never opened a replay in their life of playing League. It's a very niche kind of market, so why fix it or put, you know, why... The thing that you got to think with game development, every time you put a game dev on something, you're basically spending money. You're investing time, which equals money in a developer and a business world. So why would you put a developer's time equals money on something that doesn't make a company money? So I get why it's not been a priority at all for them to do anything about it, but it's just a shame. As someone that does use replays. Okay, another big ult. So Aurelia's got no Qs over here to escape, and that's probably what AATROX noticed. Her mobility saves her, so she doesn't die this time. But AATROX timed the engage really well. He noticed there was no escape, like none of his minions over to the right, so she couldn't naturally get away. He's going to cancel the base. No, he's not. I think he was trying to cancel her base by just being seen, but she just didn't care. And he now will go back. Probably first item complete for AATROX, dare I say. Because again, he's been farming well. He's also got a lot of kills. Yeah, Profane Hydra. So as I mentioned, AATROX is one of the champions that you can use really to arguably OP items, Profane and Eclipse. Both of which I think have been toned down, but they're still very strong. And that just shows how overpowered these items have been. And I think just also, they're strong individually, but when you combine them together, they're just silly. It's so much damage. And obviously for AATROX, if you go into his passive, I think, or is it ult passive? Yeah, passive. AATROX heals to 21% of the damage he heals to champions, increased to 28%. So naturally, when he's not in ultimate, he's healing 21% of what damage he's doing. So the more damage, which again, Profane, Hydra, and Eclipse are pure damage items, he's healing a lot, and obviously in ultimate, that goes up to 28%. It's a ridiculous amount of healing for not buying healing items. That's the crazy thing. So he's actually proxying. Now, proxying, I will say, arguably to me, and again, why I'm watching an AATROX game, by the way, is as, again, I'm playing more top lane. He's a powerhouse champion in top. I've never really gone on with him, but I do feel maybe I should give him another go. I've not played him in a very long time. And when every top player at the moment rates AATROX as, like, one of the best champs, probably should try and play him, right? So he's going for a TP. He wants to get involved. He's on a power spike of Profane. So yeah, he feels the need. I can try and help. Goes for a flash play with a double kill. Perfect teleport to come and help. And that will be an all-round good situation for him. He's probably going to wave clear this. And if I'm not, you know, I'll be honest, he's probably going to head straight to top. Because what he doesn't want is to give Aurelia free tower. Nico ultimate, we can hear bot lane. Again, weirdly global. So yeah, he's going straight back to top. Teleports, double kill. He did obviously use flash and stuff, but he's so far ahead of the Aurelia. He's not valuing, I need to keep my flash up because the Aurelia. He's just thinking, nah, I'm fine against her. I can burn flash for a double kill. Definitely worth it. But yeah, I'm watching this just to see if I can pick up any tips. And I definitely can. It's about timing, engages. Obviously, your abilities. Naturally, you have to hit them. My problem with AATROX is I like the champion. I don't think he's bad or anything. I find him really clunky. And it's not about, you know, being good or bad mechanically. It's I just find it clunky. And it's the only way that I can kind of explain it. You know, there's more mechanical champions that I can play above AATROX, but they're not clunky. Like Gangplank, right? Gangplank's is a more mechanical champion than AATROX, but he feels smooth. I don't know. It's just something with AATROX that the telegraphed kind of boxy nature, I think, of his Q, I just find really odd. But yeah. So AATROX is definitely expecting something here. So he puts a pink ward just to see if anyone's around. I think he was expecting maybe there'd be people waiting for him coming back from lane. Dragon is dead. So the enemy team has got 2 dragons. And obviously dragons are good late game strength. A lot of pings happening of telling people, you know, do something, go here, go there. Does stop the Aurelia's base, and they are probably going to try and kill the Aurelia, so that was well timed. Rakan can Q and stop it as well. Bonk. And I don't know if they can go for a dive. They might. Yeah, AATROX is so ridiculously strong right now. Yeah, they can. There you go. Well played. Smart play overall. Taliyah does go down, I think, in bot lane. Yeah, bot lane Taliyah dies, but so does Trist, and so does Camille. So a bit of crazy plays going on. Bit of jungle farming. AATROX actually takes some jungle. I don't know if Vi's completed it. Yeah, Vi's not completed her smite. You shouldn't be taking jungle farm away. Ooh, that's a TP by Aurelia. Again, being 0-5, but she has just completed Blade the Ruined King. Again, this is the ridiculous thing with Camille, right? The Camille is really strong right now. You know, she's got Sundered Sky. She's a top lane champion, so she can just run into an AATROX that's fed without much thought. Now, there is arguably an overstay for red team, so well played to blue. They get 3 dead for just a support kill, and that might even translate into Rift Herald. It might not, because obviously the bot lane is around. Nice knock-up. Ooh, not nice knock-up. That will potentially, yeah, leave the Lee Sin alive, but blue team bot lane is going to try and stop the enemy team from getting Rift. Obviously, the longer they delay this, AATROX will spawn, Vi will spawn, Taliyah will spawn. So they might want to try and delay it, but they might just be giving up on it. So yeah, I think they've given up on it. They're just giving it to the enemy team. They don't want to risk too much. But yeah, wow. So, ooh, okay, so we went Edge of Night second item. So Edge of Night second item instead, obviously, you know, I do find it a bit weird in some ways that he buys lethality items, but lethality items are really strong. They have been for a long time. And I imagine this is for 2 reasons. One, the off chance that you might get hit by Aurelia stun. It might be the first ability she tries to land on you, where Edge of Night blocks it. And also her ultimate might be the projectile, the first thing she goes to hit you. So that will block it as well. So Taliyah actually gets a kill on Aurelia. You could say Taliyah is somewhat of a counter to Aurelia, though, because Aurelia is all about Q movement, and Taliyah, with her minefield, stops all movement. So, is kind of a natural counter. This Neeko has done that move so many times this game. Like, legitimately. So AATROX TP's over. Enemy team was looking for a big play. AATROX gets another TP. Another double kill TP. So what I would say is AATROX is using his teleport very well. He's not wasting it. Every time he's used it, it's been for a big reason, and it's worked. So that's good to see, and that's definitely something that I try to do in top lane. I don't like wasting my TP at all. I do value it quite heavily, I would say. But yeah, really good play overall. 8-1 to AATROX. High damage right now. Again, as weird as it sounds, he can near enough one-shot people with this build. Going to be pushing at mid. Vi goes down randomly up in top lane, like really deep. She was tier 2 area top lane. Jinx Rocket doesn't get a kill, and AATROX will go back. So again, potentially Eclipse next item. It'd be weird for me if he's not doing it, because again, it is known as that kind of crazy strength combo. Yeah, this Neeko is really tried. Like, you can probably tell by how much we're hearing the ultimate, because it's globally bugged, obviously. She's doing the disguising as a minion kind of ult thing. Oh, Aurelia. Oh, Aurelia. So, again, you can kind of respect it. I need to try and get kills. I'll go for the AD carry that's alone, but the AD carry was not alone. But yeah, this Neeko keeps doing it, which I will say, for Challenger players, you would think Challenger players would not be getting caught out as much by it, because, you know, you can count the minions and, hey, there's an extra minion there. That's a Neeko. It is harder to keep track of it, not in lane phase, though, because obviously what happens a lot of the time not in lane phase anymore is people don't go mid for a couple of waves, or they don't go bot for a couple of waves. So there's 2 or 3 minion waves all kind of muddled together. Then you can't just count the minions because you don't know how many of those just naturally died. That's where it can get a bit sloppy when it comes to Neeko. Teleport coming down just to protect the tier 2 from the Aurelia. And it does seem, I will say, the as weird as it sounds, the AATROX, who's 8-1, is giving respect to the 0-7 Aurelia. He's 3 levels up as well. He didn't want to, like, face check, but he is now. Again, her mobility, and don't underestimate her healing, is very high. But Aatrox is absolute... Oh, her mobility is crazy. So yeah, Aatrox will go down. And there you go. Did take a lot to kill him, but that does now give Baron to the enemy team. So that's, I would say, the crazy thing of even me playing top lane for a couple of days, I've noticed, is if you get really ahead in top lane, it's why I do think it ultimately is a really good solo queue role, is because if you win your 1v1, you're no longer just a 1v1 champ. And what I mean by that is, if you win your 1v1, you'll likely continue winning your 1v1, and if you do that, well, the game's over because you're just going to go end the game. But what it ultimately means is the enemy team have to give more people to you, so 2, maybe even 3 people, depending what champion you are, and when they do that, it ultimately gives up pressure around the map. That's a crazy TP. So yeah, it ultimately goes, okay, we need 2 or 3 people to stop the Aatrox here. Well, that's a Baron. Every time. That's the thing of top lane. And no other role can realistically do that as well. You know, mid lane, sure, but mid laners are generally squishier than top laners. Nice charm, does kill the Lee Sin. But yeah, a top laner can survive fights longer just with everything with their builds. And he's actually gone Sterix, by the way, third item, which obviously is a good item. And my guess of why he went Sterix is because what does Sterix do? It delays death as well. It makes him even more tanky, gives him more healing, gives him a shield. They can't kill him quickly even more. So yeah, no Eclipse. I guess he just didn't feel the need for this game. Aurelia is definitely probably tilted because I don't know why she's at tier 2. Oh, Vi, that was a mistake. She's ulting. And Vi goes down. So does Aurelia. Again, at this point, Aurelia's probably happy she just got 1 kill. Truthfully. Weird play by Vi. Oh, Aatrox is hit. Lee Sin going to go for an insect. Kind of mucks it up in some ways. Oh, that's a big Nico ult. Doesn't do much damage to the Aatrox, but they have numbers. What can Aatrox do? Oh, he stops at mid. He stopped at mid-air. He just didn't have E-stacks to change his direction, so he couldn't change where the Q was landing. Yeah, they are questioning how Jinx died. The Aatrox is pinging the Jinx's body. How did you die? I think that's what is going on there. So even though blue team are very ahead in terms of pressure, there are mistakes happening. And I've seen wins and losses at very odd, things. Red team, the Lee Sin has very much prioed dragons. So they're 1 dragon away from soul. That's a really big power spike. I actually don't know what the gold value of a dragon soul is, but it is probably several thousand gold. And right now the gap is 5,000. So let's say a dragon soul could be worth 5,000 gold in terms of strength. This game could be closer than you think. Dragons and stuff, towers, they pop in late game. I do personally wish towers were more powerful in League, but they're really not. They don't do much damage. They're really squishy. So, like, right now you might be like, oh, they've got 2 towers versus 7. That's such a big advantage. It is, but towers will literally fall like mad. So it's, if anything, when you're behind and you don't have many towers, but you manage to recover the game, but then you get the influx of all the tower gold that the other team has already had, it actually can snowball you ahead. It is kind of weird like that. So Aurelia's going to go for split push. Here we go. Are they actually going to fight? No. So Aatrox respects the Aurelia enough of, I'm not fighting you, which is crazy when it's 9-3 versus 1-8. That does surprise me. But I would say it's maybe the nature that this is a semi-squishy build for Aatrox, so if he plays it wrong, he can die. That's the crazy thing. You wouldn't think so, but yeah. And obviously top lane, oh, Lee Sin. Oh, nice Viol. Yeah, that was a mistake by Lee. That's one of those, my body tells me no. There we go. This is a 3-item Aatrox versus a 2-item Aurelia, and it was practically even. Aurelia, baby. And unfortunately for Red Team, the Lee Sin's mistake will open the floodgates. Aatrox now TPing. He went back to heal, then TP, and they're going to look to potentially end out the game. Aurelia does get another kill. Vi was a bit too deep, but it gives time. And now they're going to go for the Aurelia, and bingo bango, she dies. Double-digit kills now for Aatrox. Played it really well. Played lane phase smart, did have some help. The biggest thing that I would take away from this Aatrox is being smart of, okay, I can't, or when I can fight you, Aurelia, I will. And he took good fights, but he also took really good TPs. It's about the entire package, and that's what I try to be as a top laner. Obviously, we all know modern top lane as a kind of a meme. They just split push, don't do anything else. Did the Aatrox do that? No. I'd say really good top laners in solo queue don't. They build a lead in the 1v1 and then help the map, and that's exactly what Aatrox did. And that's kind of what I want to try and do as a top laner. I might give Aatrox a go. But obviously I do have my champions that I am playing, and hopefully you guys will enjoy top lane coming back to the channel a bit. But anyway, that is going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal power.